two ways, personally and as a team. And I found that by being cognizant and remembering or constantly going back to look at all the various levels that and assessment points and these sorts of things that we used and discussed, I'm being able to sort of adapt how we interact as a team, and also my own personal management style and personality. So I found it a useful tool to be able to know a little bit more about each of my team members, to know what they're like and what sorts of profiles, personality profiles are going to come out in different stages, different meetings we have, where they excel and where maybe I need to work with them to coax a bit more out of them. And the same applies to myself. I think from myself personally, I've found that some of the areas where I went my profile changed quite dramatically between my day-to-day and my under stress sort of situations. I've found that I'm thinking about that when I am in an under stress situation. I'm like, oh, hang on, this is what's going to happen here. Or I'm now aware that, I'll walk into a meeting when I know it's a bit of a high pressure meeting, or I've got a lot of things on for the day, and I can sense a lot better that I know a bit more how I'm going to react. I'm going to be a little bit more forceful is not the right word, but I'm going to be a little bit more right. We're going to make decisions. We're going to get on with stuff. I've got no time for messing around. Whereas I know from my, looking at my data again and again, and okay, so, there's a number of sort of metrics there that show me that when I'm in a day-to-day situation, I'm perhaps a little more softly, gently about things. So I try and compensate for that a little bit more when I'm sitting around at, on a regular day and nothing too much is going on. If I'm finding I'm lacking in motivation to get things done, I sort of think, okay, hang on. If I was under a stress situation and really time poor, I'd be just chopping through this. I wouldn't be sitting around fluffing, messing around, taking 6 people's opinions on something. I'd maybe take 2 people's opinions on something and get on and make a decision. So I try and adapt and tap into my personality profile that fits when I am under stress in some instances, or I might try and switch that and tap into the personality profile when I'm on my day-to-day, even though I might be in a stress situation. So trying to really, I guess, flatten out some of those points so that I'm in a high flow profile situation. I certainly would recommend it. As I mentioned a bit earlier, I've done quite a few of these different sorts of personality profilings, and where you go around, you pick 5 colleagues out and ask them to give you feedback, and there's a range of them out there. But looking at the metrics that came back on myself and the different interpretations of that, I found it to be probably the closest to how I think that I am, and that's not, I'm not all roses. I haven't got always the best perception of myself. I understand that, but I think just being able to interpret some of the results, I think if I honestly look at it, I think the results are probably the closest to, what I would be there. And it's not gee, I wish I was stronger in this profile. I could have answered that question better, and I could have had a stronger result in that particular sector. But the questions that are asked don't leave you that much room to be able to sort of tweak that yourself. And then as a result of which, if you're honest about the results that you see and reading through the interpretation of those and how you can adjust those, I've found it to be probably the most straightforward, honest, and easy to interpret, and then to actually do something with it. So I've found it's been great. I'd highly recommend it.